What's up, guys? It's Barber, bringing you another low fade. This guy here has got some great hair for it. Yeah, I got a lot of people complaining about me not having music in the video. If you want music, go to a concert. You want to learn something, tune in. So I'm going to begin with the number 2 on top with a standard ball clipper. So. Notice how I keep my pinky on the bottom of the guard. It's just a good habit in case they pop off. Because if it pops off, you're going to wind up seeking them. I don't know if you guys have ever had this trouble with like the top, like sometimes you get done cutting the top and there'll be all these like little hairs still sticking up that you missed, even though you went over each area like, you know, 4, 5, 6 times or whatever. I'm going to show you a little trick to take care of that. So now that I pretty well got the top done there with the 2, I'll just take a regular water bottle and spray. Once I do that, if you get a close-up, you can zoom in and you'll see how many more of these little hairs actually start to stick up. Like I'm trying to put the background on a bright background here so you can really see them better. You know, the more often you look at somebody in the bright background, the more you're going to be able to see. So now I'm going to go through and finish cleaning up the rest of that number 2. I don't know why the water trick works, but it does. It usually gets them almost all of them to stand up. Alright, that's good. Now he wants a low skin phase, so I'm going to begin by putting my first line in here. And I'm going to try to keep it kind of low. I want to keep his front edge a little bit. So it's okay if I run it over with the 5. This is a 5-0 balding clipper. You could also make this line with your trimmer. I am going to make the line just a little bit above his ear because I do truly want to go all the way down the skin. And as I get around back here, you're going to see me drop it a little bit lower. Just want to make sure that you got your line even. You're going to have to double check in the mirror. And the ears are usually a fairly decent reference point. You just got to be careful because some people's ears are, most people's ears I should say, is one's always attached a little higher than the other. I'm just going to double check the skin line in the mirror. It's looking pretty good. I'm going to go with the Wall 5-star lash extender, and I'm not going to shave off his front edge. I'm going to try to leave his edge kind of natural and fade it off at the very bottom here. So I'm just going to go behind that. When I use this machine, I want to create a line between the skin and the 5. So I'm going to really be careful when I get up to the top of that line and make sure I'm not really pushing hard and I'm just kind of flicking and coming off the head a little bit. I mean, before you proceed on to any further, you got to make sure that you don't have a line in between the skin and that line. see it a little better back here what I'm doing. As I want this fully skinned all the way off at the bottom. And as I get to the top, I just start kind of bouncing it around a little bit and not really pressing how it was. Or you can also press down and move it down. When you move it up, you'll make a line. Alright guys, so now you see my line in between the skin and the 5-0. Looks really good, and it pretty much looks that way all the way around the head. Now I'm going to begin with the open taper on any standard clipper, master fade, wall, whatever you got. I'm just going to make a line, and I'm going to make it about an inch to a ½ inch wide. This is going to be basically like your fade line. Alright, after I've completed that, now I'm going to start working from the top up. So I did a 2 on top. I'm going to put a number 1½ on, also known as a 3/8. And I'm going to go all the way up here. And I also am kind of holding it on an angle, like maybe this would be the best view. So I'm holding it on an angle like this, and I'm allowing that any little bit can be faded still. Not pushing it into his head there. I'm kind of holding it up on an angle. And I'll continue doing that as I close the taper. I'm up here again. I'm still holding it on an angle. Always good to hold it on an angle because that's always going to help it fade naturally for you. And you're not going to have to worry so much about it making another line. So you should see that it should look fairly smooth in between the 2 and the 1½ here. And if it don't, just open the taper up a little bit and go back into there just a little bit again. You don't really want to have to repeat too many steps here. So the better you make this look the first time, the better it's going to be. Alright, I'm going to jump down to my number 1 now. 1 open. I'm going to come up pretty high with this one too still. But I'm making sure I keep it on that angle.
Try to make it easy.
Yeah.
As long as you keep it on that angle, you ain't going to make no lines. Whatever you do make is going to be fairly easy to get out. Okay, I'm going to close this number 1. Now I'm going to close it all the way. You don't always have to have it all the way open, all the way closed. Okay, going down to my half open. Close it a little bit. For the most part, you're seeing most of my line is gone. You don't want to go up too high with this guard. If there ain't no line there, then you don't keep going. You don't have to. So now basically, all I have to remove is this last line. It's very easy to do. I'm just going to double check by going over it with this in the open taper position once more. Just to make sure that I left myself enough room to do what I have to do here. Okay? Now I'm going to close it about halfway. And again, I'm going to be really careful only to run over the line and not go up too high. Using the corners. The corners are really going to be your friend, so you don't make any difficult lines to get out. Close it just a little bit more. just a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to close it all the way now. With it closed all the way, you really have to be careful. And if you manage to get it all done perfect in that exact same format, then you did a really good job. But most of the time, you're going to have to go back and you're going to have some cleanup to do. Just got it open. I'm just cleaning up just a little bit here and there. Normally I'd work around the whole head, but I'm just trying to show you the fade just to save time. As a final step, if you have any little line left and you want to blend in that front, or a little bit right here, you can go ahead and take your trimmers. And I really recommend being careful with these, only using the corner. If you have a line, which I don't have a line that's that severe right here, but if you had a line that was even more severe, you could take your trimmer upside down and you could chip into it that way at a really difficult line to get out. I don't like having to do that. Usually if you are doing that, you may have skipped a step. But it's nice to just use the corner of your blade and just get that nice sharp look there. Alright, I'm going to finish the rest of the cut, show you the finish. Alright guys, nice and low skin fade. Thanks for watching.